for another live stream. A few things I want to chat about tonight, but first of all, I hope you've had a great day. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching on the replay of this video, don't forget, leave your comments down below because you can be part of the chat even if you aren't there at the time. So I'm going to just check here to see what's going on, see if anybody's about this evening. I've got a few things I want to chat to you about, especially the poll that I did the other day. That's the word I was looking for. It's funny how sometimes I just can't remember the word that I was thinking about when I wanted to say it. Yeah, we did a poll last week in which I talked about the things that I do on the channel, the topics that I talk about. And when I checked it the last time, we had an order of topic in which the stories. Hello, Andy. How are you? Nice to see you in the room. We've got 4 topics that I generally talk about on the channel. They are life advice and self-help. Hi, Chasey. How are you? There's nostalgia. There's music related. And there's DVD and media content. So there's 4 different things that I generally talk about on the channel. And I thought it was about time we had another look at it, because as I said lately, I felt as though I've been going a little bit stale, little bit away from how I felt about the channel. And so I did this poll last week, and the results were quite interesting. Topping the poll of things that you want me to talk about was DVD's media content at 41%. So almost half of you want me to talk about that style of content. Hi, Jonathan. How are you? Good to see you. Second up was the life advice, the self-help, all of the stuff that I generally talk about. That's still well liked. A quarter of you wanted me to talk about that. I did a community post, Andy. It was a couple of days ago, and I did a poll on the post where people could choose what they'd like me to talk about more. Third was nostalgia, coming in at 21%, and music related stuff came in quite low at 13%, which really surprised me because we tend to talk a lot about music content in these live streams. Luke, hello, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying your giveaways. The breach was quite good, wasn't it? I like that. That was a fairly good film. It was one I wasn't expecting to be great, to be honest. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good film. Andy, you can still go and take part and go on to that poll. It's still there. As I said, so DVDs and media seem to be the thing that people are taking to and would like me to talk more about. Hi, Tia. How are you? Good to see you. Nice to see people getting in the room nice and early. I know there are a few of you that are watching that haven't come into the room yet. So if you'd like to just go in and say hello so we know who you are, or are you a lurker? It doesn't matter if you are, to be honest. I'm just pleased that you're here with us on the Monday night live stream. So with that in mind, we want me to talk more about DVDs. I've been thinking about my DVDs lately because over the years, I've collected quite a few. In fact, last week or the week before, I can't remember which now because time just drifts one day into another, doesn't it? I decided to start doing a database of all of the films that I've got on DVD and Blu-ray. That's not it. It's very true, Luke. Music could be done better when it's live and because we're all talking. You're right, it could well be. Hi, Steve. How are you? It's good to have Steve here. Steve, by the way, everybody in the chat room, used to go to school with me. We knew each other when we both had hair. I just want you to think about that one. So yeah, I've done this thing where I've done a database of my films. I haven't finished it. I've been doing them as we go, because I said to you, I get a lot of DVDs given to me, and I don't want to just add them in, because I'm not trying to build a collection of as many as I can. What I'm doing is curating a bunch of films that I really like and I can go back to time and time again. My hair is just it's just slippy. Yeah, it's going that way, isn't it? As long as it doesn't come around here, I'll be okay. So anyway, TV series. I said to Devs, I did a list of all of the TV series that I have on DVD. And I said to Debs, how many do you think we've got? And she went, about 25 or 30. And it turns out I have 98 different TV series on DVD. Now, that doesn't mean that we have all the complete sets of them, because I did do a check on part of that as well. I bought lots of series just for the one first series. Things like Hawaii Five-0, things like MASH, all those kind of older series. I bought them just to see whether I wanted to carry on getting them. Overall, I have 45 complete sets of TV series. Things like Frasier, some others do have them. Breaking Bad. There's a lot. I have a real wide taste in things. For instance, I liked House MD. I bought the first series, then way back in time when I used to stream them, I watched the whole series on Netflix or something. And I did the same with Boston Legal, because I only ever bought the first set. And so what I'm going to do, because I want to really curate my collection. Hi, Deb, how are you? I'm glad you're still talking to me now that you found I don't drink coffee. I'm trying to curate them, so I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of my series and just keeping the complete sets. The sets like Land of the Giants and Man in a Suitcase and all of those kinds of things that I've really loved. I'm going to keep all those sets, but I am going to part with a lot of the series that I only had one. Series like Bones, I suppose, things like that, because I'm not going to buy the next set. I bought a collection of the Dexter DVDs. It was out years ago, series 1 to 5, but I've never been able to get 6 to 8, which is a shame, because I would have liked to have the full set, but I'm not going to buy the complete set again. So I will probably just get rid of them, because I'm not going to keep them. But I have TV series. I love a good TV series. I have the complete Sweeney. I have the complete Inspector Morse. I have the complete Lewis. So there's a very wide range of DVDs that I've got. As for films, Land of the Giants, yes, I have that. Great one. The Champions, do you know what, Jonathan? The Champions, I watched it again. It was on telly a while back. And I started to watch the first series, and it doesn't hold up well compared to how it used to, which is a shame. Whereas there was a series out in 1967 called Mannix, Mannix, and that was really, really good. He was a private investigator, and I loved that. And I did see that the box series set is out there, so it may be something I look at. My favourite. No, I haven't got Planet of the Apes, funnily enough. I have all of the Dennis Waterman Minders, because I didn't think it was much good when Dennis Waterman went. So that's TV series. Films, here's one for you. I have labelled so far, of the ones that I've decided I'm keeping, 414 DVDs and Blu-rays. So that is where I stand at the moment with a load of them. So if you want me to talk about DVDs and things, then I can do that. So that's one of the other things I've done. This week I've opened an Amazon shop. Everybody keeps telling me that I should do it, and I've never been one to try and do these things, but I have bit the bullet and I've opened an Amazon shop. I get commission on it, basically. If anybody buys anything out of the shop, then I get commission on it. They don't pay any more, but Amazon give it to me. So I thought, I'll have a go at it. Why not? I'm going to do that. I've been working on and off my Amazon thing all day today, Andy, and haven't had a problem with it. So is it all over? I didn't even know about it. That's how much I knew. But the first things that I've put on my shop are all the gear that I've bought for doing these videos. And I'll tell you what, I'm amazed how much I've actually bought in this little game of mine, because I started off, everyone tells you can do this with just a phone and a mic. Well, that's very true. And for ages I did, but a few of you will know I bought an Action 5 camera that I haven't been out with, because since I bought it, I've been pretty ill. So I haven't been out with it as much as I liked. So I'm gonna be building my shop. My question to you is, what do you want me to put in it? What would entice you to go and look at my shop? What sort of stuff would you put in it? That's what I'm going to ask you. And while I'm talking about things related to the channel, something's been playing on my mind. Jelly beans. Oh, I love jelly beans. I was in Aldi's today, and usually they have jelly beans in there, but they didn't have them. Didn't have them in there, so I went without them there today. Yeah. Question I want to ask you, and it's been playing on my mind a bit, about how if you're trying to build a channel on here, and I've done this as much as anyone, you start to listen to these gurus, you know, the guys, and they tell you should do this and they tell you should do that, and you should stick to your one lane. So for me, I should stick to my life advice all the time. Basically, that's what they're saying. Now, I don't agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with it is because when I go and see my friends, we don't just talk about one thing. I don't go and see my best mate and ask him and just talk about that one thing. We have a whole multitude of things that we talk about. And so my question to you is, do you watch channels necessarily for the one main content, or do you watch channels because you actually like the content creator? Because I have a whole bunch of people that I watch, and they're not because they do one specific thing. I watch them because I really like the people. Some of them, I'm pleased to say, are in the chat room. So I just want to talk about Coffee Walks and Whatever. OJ and Deb. I've been watching them since I very first started my channel, and for the most part, they're forever working and doing up the house and the garden and all that sort of thing. All the things that I hate doing is what they do. And yet I watch all of their videos purely because I like them as a couple. There's the new retired me. Is somebody I've followed since very, very early into my YouTube thing. And oh, that's kind of you, Steve. Thank you so much. The New Retired Me is a guy that I started watching when he first started his channel. He started a little later than me, perhaps a month after I did. But the reason I started watching him is because on the first video that I saw of his, he talked about building a legacy channel for his children, which was the original reason why I started this one. But over the time, I've started watching him when he talks about all sorts of things. He talks about same kinds of things as me. He's at the minute, he's in Scotland. He comes from America. He's in Scotland at the moment. I've been watching him live stream on his tour of Scotland the last few days. And he's a nice guy. One of the great things about doing this is last year he came to Cambridge and we got together and we met up a couple of times and we had a good laugh, and I got to know the person beyond the channel. And so I watch him purely because of that as well. There's a guy who lives in the Netherlands called It's Sky. He's a lot younger than me. He's in his 30s. But why I watch him is because he's so full of enthusiasm. He just leaves a smile on my face every time I watch his videos. And so he's another guy that I watch purely because of him. And then finally, I want to talk about Primal England. Now, Primal England is a man called Nigel, and he's got a dog called Molly. And they walk through woods in Lancashire, and they just go out for a walk. He just chats to the camera whilst he's taking his dog for a walk, and it's so soothing. And he could be less unlike me than possible, but I watch him all the time, and I've found that a lot of the things that I watch are purely because I like the people on the channel. And I've not got, I suppose I go down the route of, as someone who's trying to do this, it's, I watch a lot of things, obviously trying to improve your channel and things you could do better. But when I want to watch this for entertainment value, I just watch people I like. And I wonder if you're all the same. I haven't had a chance to have a look up here. Let me have a look up and see what you've got to say. Andy, yeah, I know what you mean. I've got my list of people that I'm subscribed to is crazy. Tons and tons of them. The problem is that, and I'm sure a lot of people are like this with me, they only watch so many and then they go off and do something else and forget you. Because I know that I've got 5,220 odd subscribers. But I've got a steady 200 to 400 people who actually watch the channel. If host irritates you, yes, Luke, I agree with that totally. There's some people that you just can't take to on telly, and it's the same on here. I'm sure there's a load of people who can't stand me. But the whole point of why I'm talking about this is, if I talk about other stuff as well, am I likely to lose a lot of people? Sure, I'll lose some, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to make this enjoyable all the time, I want to talk about other stuff too. Because it's one of those things where you spend a lot of time talking about the life stories and the things that I talk about can be a bit downish. I'm sure, I know that I try to encourage people with them, but sometimes they can be a bit down. And so I kind of want to be able to go off another way. And in saying that, I did that video, can't remember what day it was now, a nostalgia one about families getting together and not doing it anymore. And that, I was looking at it and thinking about it, that'd be nice. I could talk about family and do that. And I put some silly film of my mum and dad and everybody on it. And that was fun. But it left me feeling a bit miserable because we don't do it anymore. So that's kind of, that was a bit of a downer, but someone said that nostalgia is a negative feeling, but I don't feel it like that generally. I think it's great. I think that nostalgia brings me back a lot of great feelings from things and from people that I've known through the years. And so I really like nostalgia, and I like looking back. And I'm sure when I'm looking up here where I'm pointing, I'm looking at my PC in the chat room. So when I look in here, very often we're always talking about things from the past. And why shouldn't you? That's what I want to know. I think nostalgia can be miserable, and it can be bittersweet. I feel that when I talk about my parents, who obviously aren't here now. But do you know what? I must be a lucky person, because when I look back, there were so many great times. I've had so many good times. And even though, like everybody else, our lives go like that, don't they? Except sometimes in mine go like that, straight down, where I've committed something stupidly wrong and ruined everything for myself at the time. And so we all do this. But when I look back, when I see something on the telly that reminds me of somewhere, if I listen to the radio and I hear a song and it takes me back to a certain place and to a certain time, Steve will remember this. No one else on here will, but Steve will definitely remember it. In the mid 60s, 66, 67, something like that, there was a song called Lazy Afternoon. And either the Small Faces or Kinks, I can't remember off the top of my head. But when I think of that song, it takes me back to the little town that me and Steve both lived in. And we had a big, long, yellow arcade on the seafront. And it was the middle of the summer, and holidaymakers are all about and everything. And it was all happy times. And when I hear songs and it takes me back to things like that, it's just wonderful. It takes me back, and the memories that I've got from then are brilliant. And so I'm a huge nostalgia lover. Homesickness, but for a time and not a place. I can get that, Luke. I reckon that there's a lot of truth in that. I think I look back a lot. There's no doubt about it. I go back in time a lot, and I think a lot about the past, especially for the channel, because a lot of the things I talk about on the channel, when I talk about the things on the channel, I talk about things that I've done wrong in the past, not things that I've done committed crimes or anything like that. What I'm talking about is the mistakes I've made in life. And so I look back on that, and some of the things I've lost a business, I lost a marriage, all sorts of things along the way. Sure, I look back on them and see the misery from it. However, if I hadn't have had those events, I wouldn't have become the person that I am now, because I wouldn't have learnt the things that I learned. For instance, just think about yourself for a second. Go back 20 years or whatever to something that happened to you that really wasn't good for you at the time. But when you look at it from the distance of these years, you look back and you can grin about it because you overcame it and you learned something from it. And we all have that situation. And so, yeah, I like looking back, and I take from the negative and find something positive out of it. And so, yeah, I understand exactly what you were saying about homesickness and from a time, not a place. I think back to when I was a kid with my dad, and me and my dad had a working relationship. We never had a father-son relationship. When I was a kid, I can remember being at St Andrew's School in Burnham, and all my mates used to get pocket money. And I went to my dad, I was about 5 or 6, and said, "Can I have some pocket money, Dad?" And he went to me, "Nobody gives you anything in this life. You might as well learn this now. If you want some money, There's this needs doing over there. There's that needs doing over there. And so I always had to work for it. Dad never gave me anything. And he never, ever let me get away with anything. My dad was always push, 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 push. And he did it out of love, because the things that I hated at the time, I can remember having a conversation with him when I was about 15 or 16 saying, I'll never treat my kids the way you've treated me, making me do this and making me do that. And the funny thing is, when my kids got to the age where they could do it, I was just like my dad, probably even stricter. So there's a lot that you learn. The things that are uncomfortable for us, we get past that. And you look back and you can smile on it, and you've learned something from it. And so, although it seems negative, it actually isn't, because it's helped you move forward. Hi, Harris, how are you? I say you don't want the barnacles attaching. Let's look back, reminisce. Absolutely. It's exactly what I've just been saying. There is positive. I love my life now. My life now is where I've been working towards for years. I've said it in videos before. I was 55 before I felt comfortable in my own skin. But what made me comfortable in my own skin, apart from being ill, was the fact that the stuff that I learned along the way, all the mistakes that I made, I know now that I can overcome pretty much anything. I lost a business, lost a home. Well, if that happens again, I know how to get out of it, because I've done it before. Do you know what I mean? And so nostalgia isn't something to look on negatively. Yes, it's bittersweet at times. I've met some fantastic people in my life who've guided me in different directions, and they're no longer with us. And when I look back and think of them, I don't think of them through negative thoughts. I don't think sadly about them. I think of all of the things that they did that helped me along the way. And I'm not talking about just older people. I'm talking about people younger than me too, who did something that helped me along the way and have helped me out. And I've been very lucky that throughout my life, I've had people who've at the right time turned up. Do you know what I mean? At the right time, when things are going wrong, someone's just come along and went, do you know what, James? Try this. Let's go around this way. Have you tried doing that? And they've helped me overcome a lot of problems. And I've got so many memories of some great times with people who sadly aren't with us anymore. And that makes you feel, it's bittersweet, but I always try and remember the good from those times. So when I look back, someone here's mentioned it. I know I saw something about music reflecting it, and it does. There is nothing like a record that can take you back to a certain time and a certain place. And I would say that if it wasn't for music, I probably wouldn't remember 90% of the stuff that I do, because it's like when I open a box of records, it's like opening a box of memories, because I'll pull a record out and go, look at that. I remember I bought that at so-and-so record shop. Or do you remember when that came out? We went and see him in concert and all that sort of stuff. So music does it for me. I'm watching, Deb, but you won't see it where you are, but there's a comedian in this country called Rob Brydon, and he's doing a honky-tonk tour in America of the country roots. And it's brilliant. Last night he was talking about fiddle players and all that sort of stuff. And he went to the Carter family's home, and they did a tour of that, and he was meeting different people there. Really good series. I've enjoyed that. And there's a series on country music on telly at the moment. I've seen it before, but I've not watched it this time, by someone called Ken Burns, and it's the history of country music. And it's in about 6 parts on the telly. And it's just brilliant. Such a great series, well worth watching. And I've been enjoying that too. So I used to think I didn't like country music until I stopped and actually thought about all the great country music that I've bought over the years. I'm someone who's loved Patsy Cline from when I was a kid. My brother-in-law, there was a singer in America in the 50s, right? And his name was Lefty Frizzle. And when I was a kid, my brother-in-law had an 8-track player, and he had an 8-track of Lefty Frizzle's greatest hits, right? And he'd play it, and he used to sing this song, and he used to sing, "I love you, I'll prove it in Daddy's new car." And I used to say to him, that ain't the right words. It can't be. Not from 1951. There's no way in the 50s they were saying, "I love you, I'll prove it in Daddy's new car." And so I said, "Well, play me this record, play me this record." I mean, I was only about 15 at the time. And he played me this record. And the record was, "I love you, I'll prove it in days to come." Do they have country music in the UK? I mean, artists. They do, but for me, most of the good country comes from America, obviously. And this year is country music is 100 years old. I just thought I'd share that with you. We have folk, yes, we do. And that can be a little bit depressing, can't it? Hi, Free the Taint. Thoughts on the Raise the Colours campaign? I turned off the news. And so I hate to say this, I haven't got a clue about it. That is the honest truth. I got so depressed. It was one of the reasons I gave up social media. I got so depressed with people arguing over politics and what's going in the country and all that sort of thing that I stopped. I don't look at Facebook. It's still there. And funnily enough, someone contacted me through Facebook Messenger this morning. But I haven't looked at Facebook since August the 14th when I decided to cut all of that out. I haven't watched the news for years. And I haven't bought paper for God knows how long. So I tend things sort of pass me by. However, I kind of always seem to find out the important stuff. Somebody comes and tells me about it. But to be honest with you, no, I haven't even heard it. But I'm English and I'm British in that order. And I love the flag. And I'll tell you why I like the flags. And Americans, I love Americans because they do exactly the same thing. They're proud of their country. They'll put a flag up. Don't see there's anything wrong with that. And that's my on that one. Mark Radcliffe's got a folk show on Radio 2. I didn't know that. I am actually, at this moment, reading one of his books. A book called Thank You for the Days. I picked it up the other day and I've just started reading it. So that'll be fun. It's good to watch. Right, where were we? I've lost track of things. I've actually gone through all of the stuff that I wanted to talk about this evening already in 34 minutes or whatever it is. So, have you got any questions for me? Andy, do you know what? Wednesdays at 9 p.m, I don't have the radio on. That's generally, I've always tried to keep the evenings for me and Debs. So that's what I generally do. I got her permission to let me do Monday nights because on Monday nights because I never used to do anything of an evening with regards to YouTube. I used to do all of my things, get them out of the way during the day. But I always wanted to see chat more to people who follow the channel, and obviously the evening is a better time than in the daytime for most people, and so we've started this live stream, and I have to say, it's great to see you guys coming back week after week and having a chat. And I'm amazed you're not bored of me yet. You will do, don't worry, because everybody gets bored of me in the end. What have we got here? Let's have a look. I think any country displaying their own flags in their own country is fine, and I don't see why you shouldn't. That's it. Rule Britannia. I'm amazed how many people from Canada I've actually met on YouTube. There seems to be a lot of Canadians who are doing YouTube. Have I seen the film Southern Comfort? No, I don't think I have. The name rings a bell, or is it the drink? Gaming TV, hello. Southern Comfort, I know the drink. I'm just trying to think now. I'm at a total loss now. I can't remember what I've seen and what I haven't, which is why I did a database of my movies, to be fair, so that when I go out and pick things up, I know that I don't buy it twice. Any Halloween movies I watch every year? None. To be honest with you. I've got friends who absolutely love Halloween. I think you've got to have little kids to like Halloween, don't you? We've got new neighbours to one side, and the street that I live in, when we moved here, there weren't any kids in this street at all. And apart from one of my next door neighbour who's got two young boys, and somebody on the opposite side of the road who's got a couple of kids, there are no kids in the street. So generally, we don't do too much with regard to Halloween, but we have been out and bought sweets from in case they turn round and walk into our gate. I would hate to not have nothing to give to the kids if they come round. I like the live streams. I enjoy the live streams, Luke, more than I do the videos. They're less work and more fun. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. When I do a video, I'm forever editing. You probably noticed this by now, that when I'm thinking, I speak a bit like this, and then I'll think of what I'm saying and carry on. Well, I do that all the time, and so when I do my videos, I have to cut chunks out of time out of it, or else a 22-minute video that I record, when I edit it is about 8.5, 9 minutes, because I leave so many gaps. So I have to do lots of that when I'm doing videos. But here it's just, slightly different. Slightly different. It is like going to a pub, isn't it? Except none of us have got. I've got me guava, if that's any good to you. Andy, your house got egged. We're so fortunate here. We don't get anything like that. So, watch the Rattles. I saw that years ago. It was Eric Idle, wasn't it? And some others. They even had an album, the Rattles. They brought out an album. And I think they had a hit single at the time. I've no doubt about it. I have to say, Jonathan, you do spend a lot of money on DVDs and on Blu-ray, don't you? Oh, I bet it was. I'm sorry if someone's just come into the room and have seen me going, Oh yeah, I can see that and see that. I'm talking about 3 different conversations in the chat room at the minute. I'm terrible for that. I believe what you're supposed to do, I'm trying to learn how to do a live stream properly. You're supposed to chat about one thing and then go back up there and pick the next thing out. But I'm not very good at that. I kind of, this already. I'll look up here, see something, and then I'll go off on a tangent. It's just how I am. I can't help it. Wouldn't it be good if we could meet up in a local pub? That would be nice. Perhaps one night we should all come with our favourite tipple and have a chat while we're doing it. I would say to you, we should Zoom. But the problem is I haven't got Zoom on there and I haven't got a clue how to use it. I'm a bit of a technophobe, I have to be honest. So I've never learned how to do Zoom. My wife can Zoom, but I've never worked it out yet. So we've talked about so far 4 different types of content that I'm having on the channel. My little Amazon shop that I'm opening up. The channels we watch. Has anybody got any? Here's an idea. Any of you got any channels that you watch because you like the person that you wouldn't mind telling me about so we can go and have a look at it? It would be good when I put the replay of this up. I'll put links into the 4 creators that I was talking about, and I'll put them in the description. And if you want to go and have a look at it, go and click on there and have a look. Andy, I've been no good at tech related. I'm rubbish. I'm such a technophobe. I had a friend of mine who sadly passed away a few years ago, who lived in Great Yarmouth, which is about 85 miles from here. And he used to have to do everything for me. Every time I had a problem, he'd come down from Yarmouth and come and sort my computer out and go home again. He was great. He used to come and do lots of stuff to help me out. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, whoever else I saw it. Jonathan. Scandalous Mongers podcast, Phil. Okay, what's that about then, Jonathan? Let me know. I'm going to scribble it down here anyway. Scandalous. I'll go and check them out. Speaking of this, while I think about it, once again, this is another thing that if you know me in real life, you'll know. I'll start talking about it, and then over the back here, something will come up, and I'll go, And the thing I was going to say to you, which I've just thought about, is there anything that you'd like me to make a video on? And I guess I fall. I don't know what I fall under. Lifestyle. I don't know. I kind of, because of the stuff that I've got, I suppose it could be, but I kind of think it's more under a kind of advice, encouragement, that sort of thing. I know when I did the setting up the channel, it asked you could put it in a category and link yourself into a category, and I had to link it under people because I couldn't. What I talk about doesn't fit any of the other categories. Perhaps with the music and that it does. Glam rock from the 70s. Do you remember Slade? Just rambling along. Okay. I like to check out new ones because do you find it the same with the algorithm points you in the same direction all the time? If you watch one thing, open your homepage and everything's all the same on it. I'm forever going into things and hitting the history and clearing off my history so it will freshen the page up again. There are a few people I've watched who do walking videos of different places, and I always find them interesting. There was a young girl, young to me, probably in her 20s, I suppose, and she has a channel, and she bought a house in Bulgaria, and she's doing it up. But she always also goes around the country visiting different towns and walking around the towns, and I think it's really great. I love to see where different places are, and I I love it when they go somewhere that I've been before, and I go, I've been there, I've been just there and there and there. I love that sort of thing. I enjoy them. I'm not a rambler, but we did used to like to walk. Myself and Debs, we'll go out and find places to go to and have a walk around different towns and things. Generally down the coast. I love the coast. Okay. Flawless cleaning. Okay. That's a great name, Flawless Cleaning. Very clever. I also think that it's nice to see other things that aren't related to the kinds of stuff that I've got on my channel, because it's always nice to learn something new. I think that you find out so many different things from different people, and it broadens your horizons, doesn't it? I wasn't one much for education when I was at school, I've got to be honest. But since then, I kind of like learning about different things. I'm going to have a check out of all these tomorrow at some stage. I've got them written down here, and I go hunt them out and have a look, see what they're like. So, being a cricket fan, I remember watching Ian Botham play cricket when he was a kid at Burnham. He played for Somerset when he was a young boy, and he played on Mervyn Kitchen's testimonial tour. And I don't know if Steve remembers that. And he played cricket at Burnham, and he was brilliant as a young kid. Have I been to Diddley Squat Farm? No, but don't you think the series is just brilliant? I absolutely love that series, Clarkson's Farm, and the people in it are superb, absolutely superb. They get Gerald. I love Gerald. We're still trying to work out what he says in any of the episodes. I think they're all good, Debs. I'd like to see you walking. I like seeing around your towns and all that sort of things, as you well know. Yeah, Diddley Squat. I've not been there. I would imagine it's always really busy there because it's on the tourist route, isn't it? I'm not catching. I'm falling behind here. Hi, Myra. Nice to see you here. Love Johnny Cash. The Willie Nelson album I love is Stardust, the one where he covers all the old songs. That is brilliant. Chris Christopherson was always good. I'm falling behind again. Right, Steve. Okay. I went to school in Taunton, a school called Taunton School, and I had a trial for Somerset when I was just nearly 16, I suppose. And I thought I was really good until I had the trial and actually got there and came up against some good cricketers, and I was rubbish. They didn't want me. I was got rid of fairly quickly. Trial went nowhere. Claim to fame, I suppose. What else have we got? What else have we got? Yes, Taint. Clarkson's Farm. The trouble with Clarkson's Farm, there's only one fault with it. It's never long enough. I always want it to be, instead of 6 episodes, like 20 or something. What I like about it is that he's pretty useless where it's concerned in the farm, but he does try If it wasn't for Caleb, I don't know how we'd get on. So we are coming up to 50 minutes. 10 more minutes. I'm going to have 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to go and see the wife and watch a bit of telly, which is how Primal England sounds. He's great. Yeah. Jeremy Clarkson, you either love him or you hate him. I love him. I think he's very, very good at what he does. Although I'm not a big car fan, so I've seen a few Top Gears, but cars aren't my thing. Music's my thing, and film's my thing. So I don't tend to watch a lot of. I never watched Top Gear much when it was on. I used to watch occasionally. I'd see that thing where they drive around the racetrack, some celebrity in a car or something. That was always interesting when I see that, and saw one of them crashed it. I can't see Jeremy Clarkson ever running for office. He's far too busy. He would certainly be different. Do I remember the Tube? Yes, I remember the Tube. In fact, we saw a program on Channel 5 the other week, a review of the 80s, and the Tube was on it. Your son's 26 and was Clarkson. He's got away with him. I think that he's one of those kinds of guys that he rubs you the wrong way, or you just love him. And I think he's great. I'm sure he's a handful. I'm sure he can be a right pain. Did you enjoy the film, Jonathan? So, anybody got anything else they would like me to? Thoughts on Faulty Towers? I thought it was okay. I thought it was the same joke over and over again. I liked it when he beat the car up with the twigs, to be honest. I like that. It was of its time, wasn't it? I don't think you could, watching it now in the times that we live in, I don't think it wouldn't go too well. There aren't that many. I think it only ran 2 series, didn't it? Probably 12, 14 episodes. Just while we're talking, I'm just going to nip into Google and see. There are only 12 episodes of Faulty Towers. So it's really, it was a really short series. Yeah, 12. It said, I've just looked on Google and it said 12, Jonathan. Might be 13. Don't know. 6 in each of the 2 series. Do you know what? It's one of those series that I'm a charity shop guy. I can't go into a town without looking in the charity shop to see what DVDs are about. And I've never come across it in there yet. I did pick up The Good Life a couple of weeks ago. What's my favourite Bladder series? I don't know. I never saw a lot of the Blackadder. When it was out at the time, I was travelling on fairgrounds and things, and it was on in the evenings when I'd be open on a fairground. So I kind of never really saw tons of it. I saw a few. If I saw it as a DVD set, I'd probably pick it up. But it's Rowan Atkinson, so it can't be bad, can it? Jonathan Brewer is my fashion expert. What this whole thing? Very dapper. I actually think that you get confused by the fact that you only see me from here upwards, because I am not dapper in the slightest form. I do love picking up. We're going back to DVDs again. You're talking about different series and that. I love picking up a new series of something that I haven't seen. I missed, because of the businesses that we've been involved in my family from when I was a kid. We've always worked evenings. And so most series that come on in the evenings we missed, and so I've picked up series to watch them again years later. Me in Bermuda shorts. Oh, if I had Bermuda shorts on, Luke, I would stand up. Show you, but I haven't. I'm just got a pair of jeans on. That's it. My only concession to wildness, I like a shirt, a different kind of shirt. And I don't know if you can see this. Can you see my blue shoes? I like to wear a funny colour, bright shoes. So I like to wear weird stuff. No, they're not blue suede shoes. They are very soft leather. But I'm still one of those. Back in the 80s, people used to wear things called kickers in this country. And I've still got my red ones. Do I remember Chance in a Million? No, I don't. No, they're not slippers, Jonathan. They're Ben Sherman shoes that I've had for years. All right, we are almost at 57, a couple of minutes. I just want to have a quick look through here and just say hello to everyone again, because there's Andy Merritt, Chasey, Jonathan, Luke, Tia, Steve, my mate Steve, Deb. No OJ tonight. Where is he hiding? Oh, he is there. I see him. You guys make these nights so good, you know. I really enjoy having a chat with you guys. Even though we always talk about, we always come back to the telly and music, don't we? Shoes in the house, gasp. Yeah, Andy. I'm never one of them that worried about that. I've always worn shoes. Although these have been relegated, they really are more like slippers now, because they've got this weird squeak to them occasionally. And I notice it when I'm out with them. So I only wear them in and around the house these days. Yeah, I saw him. I saw him up there, up the chat room, Deb. But it's been great having you guys here once again. So looking forward, what am I going to do this week? I've got a couple of ideas I need to find for videos for this week. I've done one about music. I've done one about nostalgia. I'll probably try and find something DVD related, and I'll try and do a normal video, because I haven't done a normal video for a while. So that's kind of what we're looking for this week. I have no ideas, though, at this stage in the game. Do you know what? There are some people who've got months and months planned of what videos they're going to be doing. But not me. I can never think of what I'm going to do. I'll come up with, I'll be tomorrow morning, right, scratching my head trying to think about what I'm going to do for this week for videos. The only thing I haven't done, and I've just remembered I haven't done it, I haven't sent out the newsletter that's supposed to go out on a Monday. I've just this minute realised it. So that's my first job tomorrow, is send out the newsletter a day late. It's the first time I've ever missed it on the proper day. So if you've subscribed and you're a member of the newsletter and you haven't had one today, it's because I totally forgot. So I'll get that done. We've run out of videos for ideas too. Yes, Deb. I know you haven't got any land left that you haven't done something to over there, have you? Anyway, that's it from me for tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. As always, it's good fun, these. I really enjoy it. Everyone video. My wife, Debs, loves videos of pandas, and she's forever showing them. Right, cheers, guys. Thanks once again for being here. I will see you all next time. Ta-ra now.